everybody, it's Mel and Pistachio. Thank you so much for joining me today for a recommending books to other booktubers video. So we are joined by Pistachio today because she stole the chair that I was sitting in, and yeah, this is the best way to get the chair back, is to have the snuggles. So this is a video series that I've been doing on my channel for a couple of years now, and basically the idea is that I pick out a bunch of different booktubers and recommend a book to them. But you may ask me to recommend you a book, comment on this video and ask me if you'd like to have me recommend a book to you. You don't have to be a booktuber. I know the title is recommending books to other booktubers. You don't have to be a booktuber. You can have any kind of social media, or you can just be a subscriber or whatever. But if you're not a booktuber, then if you could leave either some ideas of books you've really loved in the past, or genres that you really like, or leave me your Goodreads so that I can go ahead and have a look, so I can pick books that I think you might enjoy. The other thing is that it didn't even occur to me, but if you would like to have me recommend a book and you have already had me recommend a book in a previous video, please feel free to ask me. The first person that I'm going to recommend a book today is one of the people who I actually recommended a book to in my first ever video, which I will link down below, and that person is Victoria from WhatVictoriaRead. So yeah, she commented on a previous video and said, hey, can I have another recommendation? So anyone that enjoyed getting a recommendation from me in the past and you'd like another one, please comment that below and I'll happily do another one. Sorry, apparently it's climb mum time. You right there, sweetie? So, the way that I normally do this is I try and pick people who I know I have some vague connection with, who I am pretty sure has some sort of knowledge that I exist and will potentially get notified and be aware that I have made the recommendation for them. But I do always try to pick at least one person who I'm pretty sure doesn't know that I exist or follow me or anything like that, just because it's kind of a fun way to potentially get myself out there, expand my friend base, all that sort of stuff. So anyway, I have got 8 people who I'm going to recommend a book to. One person who asked me to recommend them a book, and that is Victoria from WhatVictoriaRead, and then 7 other people who did not ask me, but that I have decided to recommend a book to. All of those people are listed down below if you'd like to go and follow them. They're all amazing people, amazing content creators, so I definitely highly recommend that you do. All of the books and the people I've written on my computer over here, so that is why I'm trying to make sure it doesn't shut down. Go into safe mode, and that's why I keep doing that, and also we'll keep looking over here, but that's also why she keeps moving, because I keep moving my hand. But anyway, so Victoria from WhatVictoriaRead, like I said, has asked that I recommend another book to her. So Victoria, I have been thinking about what other book I would recommend to you, and I know that you never used to be a fantasy person. You always preferred to read, well, lots of other things, but not fantasy. But recently, in the last year or so, I know that you've been starting to slowly get into fantasy. I know that both Legends and Lattes and Bookshops and Bone Dust by Travis Baldry have been favourite books of yours. I also know that you've read a couple of kind of cozy paranormal romances that you've really enjoyed, and recently you read and I believe quite enjoyed The Hobbit, and I think you said that you might read The Lord of the Rings. So I feel like you are slowly developing a taste for fantasy, and so for that reason I would like to recommend a fantasy book to you. I'm actually going to recommend Half a Soul by Olivia Atwater. So this is a historical fantasy. This is set, I think, in Regency times, and we follow a young woman who is kind of coded autistic, and the idea is that when she was a little girl, she was out in the forest and she was confronted by a fairy, and the fairy took half her soul, and so she's never really entirely kind of fitted in with society. She doesn't really understand social cues, she doesn't really understand the cues. Where are we going, sweet? Don't get caught on the... yeah, she doesn't really understand how to kind of function in society. And when she is of marriageable age, her sister is going off to London, to kind of join the season to potentially find a husband. And her sister really wants her to be part of that. And so she goes as well, and she meets a wizard. A sorcerer, and yeah, things happen from there. It was really fun. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really well written, and I feel like it's that kind of cozy fantasy that I know that you've been really, really enjoying. So that is why I am recommending Half a Soul by Olivia Atwater to you, Victoria. So moving into the people who did not actually ask me to recommend a book to them, and the first person is Nat from NerdyNatReads. The book that I'm going to recommend to you, Nat, is Electra by Jennifer Saint. I had a look at your Goodreads, and I noticed that you had shelved as one of your favourite books, I'm assuming of all time, was Circe by Madeline Miller, which I also absolutely loved. So I thought that if you love that book, you probably would really love Electra by Jennifer Saint. So Electra is also a Greek myth retelling, and it is about the Trojan War. We follow 3 main female characters who are part of the story of the Trojan War. So we follow Electra, who is one of the children of Agamemnon. Don't know why I couldn't think of his name. Agamemnon and Clytemnestra, and we follow Clytemnestra, and we follow we follow Cassandra, who is a priestess of Apollo from Troy. I thought this book was incredibly well written. I love Jennifer Saint's writing style. I love the way that she puts feminism and the female story into all of her books. And yeah, I just found it really, really compelling, really interesting. I particularly loved Clytemnestra's storyline because you don't often get Clytemnestra's storyline. I know that recently she's become a bit more of an interest, and there's a few different books about her, but it's not a character who I feel like has been particularly well served, certainly not by the original myths or any of the subsequent myths from Greek or Roman writings. So I really enjoyed that part of the story. I felt that it made her very sympathetic and relatable without necessarily excusing any of her actions. But yeah, I love Jennifer Saint's writing style, and I do think that if you enjoyed Circe by Madeline Miller, you would enjoy Electra by Jennifer Saint. So that is the book that I'm recommending to you, Nat from NerdyNatReads. The next person I'm going to recommend a book to is Zoe from Book Reviews with Zoe. And the book that I'm recommending to you today is The City of Brass by S.A. Chakraborty. Now, I have not finished this book. I am currently about a quarter of the way through. I am really enjoying it. I think that it is really well written, and I know that you do enjoy quite a lot of fantasy. I know that you have enjoyed books like Jade War, you've enjoyed books like Akane, I believe you enjoyed The Priory of the Orange Tree, and all of those sorts of books are the kinds of books that I think that if you enjoyed them, you would enjoy The City of Brass by S.A. Chakraborty. I hope you haven't read it. I did have a look around on Goodreads to see whether you'd read it or not, and I was pretty sure you hadn't, so hopefully you haven't read it yet, and if you haven't, then I would highly recommend that you do that. You may know that I'm currently one of the people running a read-along of the series, so if you are interested in joining us, if you are not already, I can't remember, then I will link the info for that down there in the description as well. But yes, I recommend to you, Zoe, that you read City of Brass by S.A. Chakraborty. The next person that I'm going to recommend a book to is Leandra from Leandra the TBR0. I've decided to recommend to you, Leandra, The Dry by Jane Harper, because I know that you love Golden Age of detective mysteries. So you love authors like Agatha Christie, and you really love kind of cozy, what's the term? Closed circle mysteries. The Dry is not really a closed circle mystery, but it is a mystery/thriller set in Australia. It is the first of a trilogy, which is the Aaron Fawkes trilogy. We follow our main character, Aaron Fawkes. Aaron Fawkes is a financial investigator for the Federal Police in Australia, but the first book, he goes back to his hometown in country Victoria, and there is a drought, which is why it's called The Dry, because he goes back there because his old high school best friend has killed himself and has been accused of killing his family. And Aaron has gone back for the funeral, and then Luke, the person who committed the crimes, Luke's parents ask him to investigate what happened because they don't think that things happen the way that it looks like it happened. And so Aaron, very much not wanting to, but does anyway, goes ahead and starts helping to investigate what's going on. We also swap, we have two different timelines, so we also swap backwards to when Aaron and Luke were teenagers and something that happened when they were teenagers where another young person died and what happened there. So and the mystery there, because that mystery was never solved. So we swap backwards and forwards between present day and between the past and what happened, and the two different deaths and murders and potential connections. I really love this book. I enjoyed the entire trilogy, but I particularly really enjoyed The Dry. And I think that if you enjoy mysteries, you enjoy thrillers, you enjoy crime type of mysteries, I think you'll really, really enjoy The Dry by Jane Harper. So that is the book I'm recommending to you, Leandra. I just realised that I didn't really explain what City of Brass is about. Sorry about that, Zoe. But it's a pretty well-known fantasy series, so I'm assuming that you have some vague idea of what it is about, and hopefully you will appreciate that recommendation. Okay, so the next person that I'm going to recommend a book to is someone who I don't think really knows of my existence, so we'll see whether or not they see this video or not, but anyway. The person is Jashana from the channel JashanaC. The book that I'm recommending to you, Jashana, is Rivers of London by Ben Aaronovitch. This is the first book in a series of the same name. I believe it's quite a long series, and it is a paranormal crime series. Now, the reason that I'm suggesting this book to you is because I know that you really enjoy mysteries. I know you really enjoyed a variety of different kind of cozy mysteries, and also, yeah, some that are maybe potentially paranormal as well. But I also know that you really love fantasy, you read predominantly fantasy, and so I think this is a really good crossover. So the first book is following a police officer in the London Metropolitan Police, and one day when he's out just doing general police work, he discovers that he can speak to ghosts. And as a result of this, he is drawn into the kind of other world of London, the other across the veil, however you want to put it, and finds out that there is a lot of stuff going on that he had no idea about to do with ghosts and gods and all sorts of different things like that. And he is transferred into a department of the Met that he didn't know existed that is dealing with magical crime. He and the leader of that department then start trying to solve the murder that he was originally investigating, which is when he was talking to a ghost and found out everything. I really enjoyed the book. I thought it was incredibly well written. I've read the first two of the series now, and I really enjoyed both of them, and I think they would be right up your alley. I think you'd really, really enjoy them. I think they tap into the kind of paranormal that you quite like, and also the kind of mysteries that you quite like. So that is why I'm recommending Rivers of London by Ben Aaronovitch to you, Jashana. The next person that I wanted to recommend a book to today is Aoife from Pretty Purple Polka Dots. I found Aoife a little bit of a challenging person to find a recommendation for, because Aoife reads a lot of romance. It's her kind of main genre that she reads, and so I wanted to try and choose a romance for Aoife. But the problem is that she reads so much romance, and I don't read that much romance, especially not comparatively, that I couldn't find anything that she hadn't already read. So Aoife, I was looking around on your Goodreads, and I noticed that you also quite enjoy a murder mystery cozy as well. So you could also read The Dry. I think you'd enjoy that one as well. But the book I'm actually going to recommend to you today, Every Breath by Ellie Marnie. This is a book that I have comped often when I talk about it to the Good Girl's Guide to Murder series. They have a similar vibe, I feel, and that is mostly because they're both young adult mysteries. So the Every series, which the first book is Every Breath, is a young adult murder mystery book, And it's also a Sherlock Holmes retelling. We follow James Moriarty, who is the Sherlock character, and we follow his best friend Rachel Watts, who is the Watson character, as they try to figure out a murder mystery. I thought it was incredibly well written. I thought it was really fun. I'm pretty sure that I saw on your Goodreads that you had read and enjoyed another of Ellie Marnie's books, which I haven't read. I think it was None Shall Sleep, but I think you really enjoyed it, and on that basis I believe that you would also really, really enjoy Every Breath and the subsequent books. So that is the book that I'm recommending to you today, Eva. The next person that I wanted to recommend a book to is Faye from Books and Chocoholic. So Faye, the book that I'm going to recommend to you is an older fantasy, well, series really, and that is the Song of Albion trilogy by Stephen R. Lawhead. The first book is called The Song of Albion. Is that right? Yes. Let me just make sure I'm correct. Sorry, my mistake. The entire series is called The Song of Albion. The first book is called The Paradise War. So this is a kind of portal fantasy. It is about two young men who are studying at Oxford University who get transported through a portal into into Albion, the kind of Celtic otherworld, original world of England. And it's about what happens to them as a result of that experience and how they end up living and the choices they make. I really enjoyed the series. I thought it was incredibly well written. It's been a number of years since I read the series, to be honest with you, so I'm not 100% sure how well it stands up. It was written in the late 90s, I think, but I do think that you would really enjoy the series. I think you'd enjoy the writing and the concepts. I know that you love to read a high fantasy series, you love to binge reading fantasy series, and I think this would be a fantastic series for you to do that. There are only 3 books, so it won't take you a super long period of time, but I think that you'd really enjoy the series overall. So those are the books that I am recommending to you, Faye. And then the final person that I wanted to recommend a book to today is Amy from A Star Reads. Amy, the book that I'm going to recommend to you today is Little Fires Everywhere by Celeste Ng. I'm pretty sure that I did see on Goodreads that you haven't read this one yet, so hopefully that's actually correct. So the reason I've chosen this book for you is because I was watching one of your recent videos, your recent TBR, and you talked about how you were going to reread The Joy Luck Club by Amy Tan, which you read in high school and absolutely loved. I've not read The Joy Luck Club, but I thought, wouldn't it be fun if I could recommend a book to Amy that is kind of similar to The Joy Luck Club, because that's a book that she has really loved in the past. So I went on Google and I googled books that are similar to The Joy Luck Club, and Little Fires Everywhere was a book that came up as a book that is similar to The Joy Luck Club. I'm not sure, because I've not read The Joy Luck Club, quite how it's similar, but I have read Little Fires Everywhere and I did really enjoy it. I thought it was very well written, quite twisty, literary fiction, and yeah, I did really enjoy it, and I'm hoping that you also will enjoy it, Amy. So yeah, those are all the amazing people that I am recommending a book to today. Those are all the books that I am recommending to those people today. All of their channels, like I said, are listed down below. I think you should go and subscribe to all of them if you haven't already. They're all amazing. If you would like me to recommend a book to you in a future video of these, I don't do them super often, I do them sporadically. If you'd like me to recommend a book to you in one of these videos, please comment below and let me know. Like I said, if you are not a booktuber, then I won't necessarily be able to find information about you very easily, so please either link your Goodreads or let me know some genres you like or some books you've loved so that I can give you a recommendation that fits in with the kind of thing that you enjoy. Of course, if you are a booktuber, then I'll be able to fairly easily do that, but please comment and let me know if you'd like to receive a recommendation from me. If you have any other thoughts on any of the books I recommended to any of these people, please comment all of that down below. If you'd like to leave me a comment but you don't know what, then leave me this emoji, just because I am taking a bit of a gamble and I don't really know whether these people will like these books, so I feel like it's a bit of a kind of situation, so please put that emoji in the comments below. All of my social media details are listed in the description below, so if you'd like to go and follow me on any of those other platforms, please feel free to do so. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, I would absolutely love it if you would subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up. And yeah, like I said, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time.